Let's get it.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome all. Welcome everybody that's here with us today. And we're going to get on a great show. We got some great guests lined up for y'all today. I mean, with some amazing things that they're doing and some amazing businesses that they have. So we're going to get on to all of that. But how you doing, Raychelle? Let's
You
see
know what?
what's going on with you.
First of all, I'm amazing. The weather's beautiful. I was able to renew my passport online. So
Oh, that's right. They're doing
I
that
am
now.
so
That's right.
excited about that. So I will be receiving that in about 6 weeks. So not only do I have to listen to your greetings from around the world, now I get to get on the plane and go get some of my own, bring it back to the show. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, nice. Absolutely, absolutely.
But yes,
Yes,
all is well. All is well. And it's good to be with you guys again. So soon after, let me see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 4 days, 5 days later, we're still here. And we're really excited to be bringing the new and evolved Indie Review Radio your way. We may not have music this time, but we have a lot more than music. And we may throw a special here and there. And so make sure you tune in and follow us so you can be kept abreast of all the great things that we have going on, even on the music front. But in the interim, we're going to have
right.
some really great conversations with some really great guests, and let's get to it.
Absolutely. And I may, if we have enough time for this particular show, I'll share like my five like songs or artists that you need to be paying attention to
That's
that you
right.
don't normally, get to see or hear on the other stations or
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah, and we do have our playlist on Spotify, which we'll be updating, so you can always go there and check it out as well. C.Truth with his, and I just want to thank you, C, because you make this all very seamless. I am, those that know me know that I'm not technically savvy, so you make this all happen, and you make it very easy for me. So thank you very much. I
Hey,
appreciate that.
that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here
I
for.
so
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you know what? Let's get to it. Let's get to the greetings to everybody all around the world and everywhere, everywhere. I say good morning, good afternoon, good night, buenas noches, buenos dias, konnichiwa, salam, namaste, sakpase, assalamu alaikum, alafia, good day, nehoma, bonjour, bonsoir, what up, son, what up, do, alito, akashke, what the business is, where you at, nef, paubona, suwa, bona, and yo say yo tu, mujuque, bienvenue, que paso, que pasa, bon dia, merhaba, salam, basiva, maani jani, and nanga def.
Okay, Negative.
Yes, yes.
I'm not mad at that.
That's
We
right.
got
I had to cut it down till I get back up to speed. There's a
right,
lot
right,
more than that, but I cut it
right,
down just so
right.
we could get things moving and grooving.
Just for now. So let me see if I can hop on and I'm trying to multitask here and be able to join those in the chat that are chatting with us on Facebook. So I'm gonna figure that piece out. Yeah. Anywho, but we're gonna get started regardless. Don't wait on me because we'll be here all day. We'll be here all day.
Right, 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 right. So let's see, let's see. Let's start with our first guest. Let's bring her on.
All right. A friend of the show,
Yes,
another
indeed.
intellectual, if you will, someone that's been
Right.
riding with us for a really long time.
A long time.
Is completely and 100% in alignment with our theory here. This is a no bad vibe zone. So she rocks with us that way.
No doubt, no doubt. Tell everybody who she is, Ray. Oh, you're gonna let her introduce herself.
Okay. I was gonna let her introduce herself because who's better
Okay.
to do it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least show her beautiful face. Come on now.
Hey guys, how
How's
you
it
doing?
going?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
We haven't spoken in a while, Joy. I'm so glad that you could join us today. So I didn't introduce you so that you can introduce you.
That's okay. Well, guys, my name is Joy, the founder of Be the Difference. We are an inspirational company, right? So we do primarily clothing, but it's more than that. We like to motivate and inspire through. I would say we have public forums like at either speaking with the kids or reading to kids, or adults as well. And then also I've self-published a couple of books as well. So it's more so lifestyle, not just a movement. You know, it's a lifestyle, it's life-changing. It's basically subliminally putting messages out there that is going to inspire you to do better and be better if you haven't already done so yourself. So it's
But
kind
is
of
it
like,
really subliminal? Because they're right here on the chest. Like when
yeah,
you throw that on a
there.
t-shirt, there you go. Right, right.
Hashtag humanity
Yes.
first. Okay.
Yes. And I love the idea of having positive messages around upliftment and enlightenment and social change on t-shirts. I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
What
And we
made you
start from
decide to
infancy all the way up too.
say that? I'm sorry, one more
We
time.
start from infancy all the way up.
Beautiful. Yes. So, Joy, what made you decide to because we've seen tons of t-shirts with all kind of stuff on them. What made this your ministry, if you
So
will?
basically, out everybody just right now, close your eyes and just think back to a day when we had a really cold, wintry December.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to have been driving back from an event. Now, mind you, the streets were clear, it's dark, it's cold. And as I was turning the corner of where I live, there was a person that was standing backwards. So this is your face, but their whole entire body was backwards.
Oh wow.
And their head was basically behind, like as close to their kneecap, the behind the kneecap as
Mm.
possible. I had never seen that in real life. Like we always see, it's typical to see stuff like that on TV. Maybe you may see it from afar, but like when it hits your neighborhood, when it's never been that way, it kind of like threw me off. And the first thing that I remember thinking of was, wow, when this person was a toddler, I can only imagine they were laughing, having so much fun, but never could imagine that they would be an addict by the time whatever age they were.
Right.
Like I highly doubt there's anybody in this entire world that grows up or wants to grow up and say, I want to be an addict for a living.
Right.
I want to be
Who does that?
I want to
Right.
like starving all the time and not really being able to be clean, not being able to think, not being able to have money the proper way. Because remember, addicts do come off of their high, and when they do come off of their high, I can only assume that they're probably feeling even more low for the
Yes.
things they had to do to get to that next high. So it's like a twofold thing. Like they hurt, we hurt. That has to see it. Like I'm the third party. So anyway, long story short, I was like, I can't do anything about this. And then something was like, you go ahead and do something. And that's when I was like, well, what, me? I can't stop that,
Yes,
that
you.
person. But then I automatically remember people always like the things that I say. So I wrote addiction kills the family on a t-shirt.
Mm.
And I felt like one, that's a conversational piece. Two, it leaves it open to any type of addiction. Three, the idea is if it takes away from family time, it may be an addiction. Just to be self-aware.
Right.
So
Right. So this start when did you first start with the t-shirts with the positive messages on the t-shirts?
2013.
So because C.Truth and I talk about a lot about being in contribution in the world and how you show up in the world and how we're here for each other. Can you speak to some of the ways your life has benefited from being in contribution this way?
Absolutely. I mean, one, I've gotten closer to nature. Two, I have a fonder appreciation for humanity. I see past the hurt, and I try to see the heart because I truly feel like maybe there's only 5% of the world that's truly evil, but the rest
Mm-hmm.
of us, we're just going through traumas that we've not addressed, whether it be traumas from childhood or something that happened 5 minutes ago. There's,
Mm-hmm.
we're so sensitive as human beings. Like imagine this, a baby, right? We all came from infants and we were sensitive at that time. What makes us different than that when we're adults?
Right.
If anything, we should be even more sensitive because we've been exposed to so many different scenarios: love, pain, death, hurt, disappointments. Like you layer that on top of layer. If we don't address those things and go through the process of healing through each one of those scenarios, like, come on. I
Yeah,
can see why we're in constant conflict with each other, and especially with ourselves.
especially with ourselves. And a lot of us have a very shared trauma response and bonding that we have with each other. But I think that most people can look at a t-shirt and think that's, oh, a t-shirt, right? But it lands to who it's supposed to land with. Would you agree to that?
I do. And the reason why I shook my head is because when I was wearing the Addiction Kills the Family shirt, I could always remember people, or even the prayer work shirt, people looking at me, and I'm like, I forget that I have a message.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, that's why they were looking at me, because either it was them directly or indirectly. So it does affect you. It like we are creatures of absorption, and
Yeah.
we do get affected by the things that we see, whether it's surface or goes deeper, but we do get affected. So that's why I said, you know what, we're gonna do it this way.
And I believe words and phrases have energies too. So sometimes it'll hit someone where it's supposed to, if you
Yes.
will. So talk to us a little bit about your book. So from the t-shirts to an author.
Yeah, so I was an accidental author.
No such thing.
I never intended to be an author because I was like, I'm not a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I think of writers, I think of the people who actually go for schooling to be,
Right.
traditional, right? But I had been trying to grow Be the Difference alone on Instagram. And I had run into this person who at that time was saying, you need to have one quote and two pictures. So for me, it turned into three quotes and maybe one picture once in a while
Mm-hmm.
post online. And I was getting my hair done, and we were watching Queen Sugar. And the woman
Hmm.
was like, there should be more female African American women who write outside of just being singers, musicians, and all the other things, so that other young girls have something to see. And I took that very personal. She wasn't talking to me, but I was like, well,
Well, maybe she
I
was
accept
talking
the
to you.
challenge. I said, I accept the challenge because I felt like
Yeah.
they were talking to me.
Yes.
And so I was like, well, I'm not an author. I'm not going to write a novel. But then I remembered, girl, you've been posting on Instagram. Let's see how many quotes you have. That first book turned out to 289 quotes.
Yes. Quotes make the world go round, girl. Let me tell you. Quotes really are affirmations, confirmations, right? Clarity for people. Because those little flip charts, and I have one too, that you just flip the page over and there's a quote on there, right? You never know. Like that one little thing, you just never know how it can have an impact on people's lives. And I'm sure that you've heard how it has impact for people.
Yeah, I've had people crying.
Yeah. And you're like, whoa,
I'm like,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
no. I'm like, and then like, it's always the or like
Yeah.
the first page they turn to, they're like, and it hit
Right.
them. Like it was always, and I specifically did not put page numbers in my books because I wanted to be something where it naturally turned to what you needed for that particular
Exactly.
day.
Exactly. Exactly. What does the phrase "be the difference" mean to you?
It's just like, for me, if I say I need to be the difference, it's like I have to do that. I have to do something totally opposite from what is bad. And I have to live my life according to that. So it's like that's what we need to be. It's like being more assertive than just saying,
Hmm.
let's be the change. It's like
Right.
you're commanding, you better be the difference.
Right.
So like thankfully I have to live by that every day. So the times when I want to turn around and be negative, I always be like, girl, you're supposed to be supporting, you're supposed to be the
Accountability, child.
right. The accountability be like this to me. And I'm like, dang, just
Yeah.
don't catch me in a car by myself. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like, we're not doing that. Right. Well, I think because the word "be" alone is an action word, right? So oftentimes we can't complain about something if we're not gonna get up and be in action around that thing. Again, there's the word "be" again.
Yes.
So I think that being the difference, it really does hold you accountable.
Yep.
You can't claim that you want to be the difference and you not move around it. So what would you suggest to other people? So like yourself, you said you're not a writer. Some people may not have the bandwidth to put together t-shirts, or what are some ways that you can offer others to be the difference?
Smile at a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, speaking from experience, one person's smile actually turned my horrible day then better. You can just be kind, talk to people. I would also say, like, just do the work for yourself. Try your best to work out those traumas inside. And this is a one way that you can figure out if you have traumas. If you cannot look at yourself in a mirror for at least 5 minutes, then that means you can't even look at your soul. So there's something that needs to be unfolded in there. And start to ask. You can't do it by yourself. You need to ask God, your maker, creator, whatever or whoever you believe in, whatever that person or source is. You need to find that first and ask them to help with that unveiling. And then you'll get to the point where you could talk to a real person. Then you'll get to the point where you're strong enough to help others. And then you'll get to the point where even when you're strong enough to help others, different tests may come, but you have the tools and the equipment to not let it stay for too long.
For sure. I also think too that people have to remember that even in our brokenness, we can be used for other people.
Yeah.
A lot of times we feel like because we're still working through our stuff that we're no good to anyone else.
Yeah,
and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah. My best quotes came from my hurt position.
Yeah.
So, you can turn your pain into joy. Would I want to go through those same things again? Heck no.
No.
For the remaining part of my life, it'll be something beautiful and just straight happiness, with a few little bumps here and there, but nothing like the catastrophic things that I had to go through,
Right. Right. Because who wants to do that again? We've learned that lesson already. Let's move on. Right. So Joy, how can people find you, get in touch with you, buy your shirts, buy your books, collaborate?
You guys can find me one here on the Indie Review. Okay. 2, you could go to any social media platform, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, at B as in boy, T as in Tom, D as in dog, LLC. If you want to find other things that I've done on YouTube, I have a ton of content on there that's geared towards inspiring you. You could just go to Be the Difference Clothing. If you want to shop, you can go to BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. And if you need print on demand, we do that too.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Another conversation.
And all that information has been scrolling underneath us as we've been talking to Joy. So if you've been looking, watching, listening, it's all there. We got you covered.
Thank you, girl. Anytime, you are one of our very first intellectuals. So you are welcome to the show at anytime. Run those shirts through here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Let me see. I was trying to see if someone had said something in the chat. Yeah. So yeah, that's, thank you for joining us, Joy. So we, maybe we'll do a giveaway on the show one day.
Yeah, anytime. If you just let me know what you want, and I'll send it as a giveaway from Be the Difference to you guys and whomever.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, mailing address.
No doubt. Absolutely.
For sure. Thank you, girl. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk very, very soon.
You too.
Aw, Joy.
Yep. Yeah, she's always been supporting.
Doing this. So she was an intellectual. Was it before she started doing the t-shirts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah, absolutely.
That's so
absolutely.
Dope.
Yeah. So and when we had a little interim time, she was also one of the first people to say, when you guys get back up, definitely reach out to me because I want to, come back on and, always supporting the show. So big up to Joy.
Yeah. Yeah. We love our folks, our diehard supporters. We love it anytime. Yeah. We love it. Yeah. So a couple of things. So, we have the question of the week, right?
That's right.
So we actually have a question of the week this week.
Oh, what's the question of the week? Let's hear it.
I'm gonna direct it to you because you've been in this space of radio for much longer than I.
Okay,
So the
right.
question was, do you see the value in starting a radio blog or show? And if so, what's the easiest way to do it?
Yeah, there's definitely value in starting a radio program if you're going to do a program or a show that's going to add to what's already there and not copy what's already there. Like we always need more voices, different perspective,
Right.
and different points of view from people that we're not already getting. So if you're going to be doing that, then absolutely there's value in doing a radio show, blog, however means that you choose to do it. As far as the easiest way, I mean, you could do it this way, the way that we're doing it, via live, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, like all different types of ways. There's still traditional radio if you can go through that route. That's still valid. That's still a point that's going on right now, and that actual medium was meant as a point of information at first before it became all the different things that it is now. So it still has that element to it. So that particular aspect of radio is still important. So you could do it through all those different means, and you could stream online through a lot of different avenues. I mean, so many different ways to do it, and so many different services that are out there. So you just have to figure out which one is best for you and how you want to do it. But definitely, yes, there is value, and it's pretty simple to do.
And you have done the gamut. You've been everywhere from college radio to Sirius FM, XM, Sirius.
Sirius XM.
Yeah.
XM. Yeah. So from college, AM, FM, satellite radio, online. We were one of the first that were doing podcasts actually in 2008 as a means and a ways to get the radio show out there in a different way. So we were always innovative and always looking for that next thing to do radio in that format. But at the same time, we've always kept the integrity of what we do with the show Thermal Sound Waves, which y'all, for more information, thermalsoundwaves.com. Plug at Thermal Sound Waves on Instagram. So absolutely. And what keeps us in the loop and keeps us going is life. There's always something that's happening, right, in the world. So as long as you're tapped in and as long as you're willing to, address different things and different aspects like that with your listeners and with your viewers and so forth, then, I mean, you could always do radio. You could always do a media show. Because it's not just radio, it could be video, TV. There's lots of different means and lots of different aspects to it. So,
and they that was a question from California actually. So,
okay, yeah, big up to Cali.
Right? West Side.
Did they say what part of Cali?
Huh?
Did they say what part of Cali?
San Diego.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah.
That was a Dago question. Yeah.
Big up Southeast Dago people over there.
Southeast San Diego. I would add to that by saying, do some research and learn as much as you can about broadcasting. You don't have to necessarily go through a 4-year university, get a bachelor's degree in communication broadcasting. Right. However, do some due diligence and do the research and learning as much as you can about the industry, so that you're speaking from a place of knowledge and intelligence. Do research on topics. Do research on, competition. Even if you have this in mind, how many other shows are like that? And also be mindful of your why. Is it just to have a conversation? Are you in competition? Understand the reason why you want to start your show and see if it makes sense for you. Because although it can be zero, it could cost you zero, right? It can also cost you a pretty penny. So make sure that you're investing not just your sweat equity, but your finances properly. So
Yeah, absolutely. And there are lots of people that you can learn from. I'm self-taught and taught by people who actually walk me through this. And just from listening to other people and watching what other people do, this is how I picked it up and was able to,
And have
just
become
continue
a master at it.
and continue to grow. And still to this day, I'm still learning things. I'm still listening to different people, different formats. I don't just listen to music people. I listen to people who do talk, who do sports, who do
Yeah.
just, just to get that background and that balance. And when you do things like that, it shows within your show and your program as well. And I've also thought about doing a teaching piece.
That would be dope.
For more so on the younger generation.
Yeah.
Our next guest may help me with that as well.
They might.
As I continue to develop that program. You know what I mean? So
they might.
Absolutely. Definitely.
I just want to give a big shout out. Speaking of sports radio, our boy is on regularly on Fox, Willie Colon.
Willie Colon, what's up, Willie?
Sports analyst, and to give him a shout out. We'll have to have him come on and
no doubt
talk about social change. Him and his wife, Akeisha, are really doing a great job in the world in terms of being the difference and showing up in contribution. So we'll definitely have a conversation.
Big up to Willie Colon from the Bronx. You know what I mean?
The Bronx.
Ex New York Jet, ex Pittsburgh Steeler, offensive lineman for many years in the league. So big ups to him for actually coming out of all of that and still being able to function. Because that's a whole nother conversation about what goes on with that. But big ups to him for doing what he's doing. He was also an early guest. We had him right, I think, before he got drafted in the league, or after, or just after he got drafted into the league. So he's come like full circle from being on our show to actually doing radio himself. So big up to Willie Colon.
The thing about that is that's what he's always said he wanted to do. So we have a little conversation about manifestation in that space too. So we'll actually have to have him on so we can talk more about it.
No question. Well, you know what? On that note, let's bring on our next guest, who was gracious enough to host us last week and actually bring the show to you guys. Last week, we were in a spot called Social Studies Community Academy out in Brooklyn, Dumbo, and it's co-founded by Sean Williams, who's joining us right now on the program. He does amazing things with Social Studies Community Academy, and it's based around sneakers and fashion, but there's so much more that goes on with that, and that he's added to that, along with the others who are involved in that organization and what they do on a daily basis. But he can talk more to that.
Welcome, Sean, and thanks again for hosting us.
What's up, Raychelle, C.Truth? How y'all doing?
We're wonderful. How are you doing?
Yes.
I see them shoes back there.
A lot of shoes back here. Something I can't escape.
Well, you know what? First of all, let me just say I love the word SOLEcial. Like when C said that, I was like, wait a minute. How did you? Because a lot of times people they overthink like names and titles, and when it comes to marketing and branding, and how did you come up with the name SOLEcial?
So sneaker culture itself is more of a social experiment, right? And it's more of a, the DNA of like full appreciation of what it is to be in sneaker culture is really about the people in the community. So it's a very social thing, right? So sneakers are always one of those things that we say are the icebreaker to a lot of conversations and friendships that have common interest. So being able to take the traditional spelling and put the sneaker twist on it, SOLE, is how we got
dope.
Social. Thank you.
Yeah.
So social studies is, actually our program we launched in 2011 to teach people about all of the non-design related jobs and careers in the sneaker industry. My background personally is 30 years in procurement, sourcing, and vendor relations prior to leaving corporate America. And I've always worked for the type of companies that allowed me both financially and in my career to always work in derivative industries that tied back to fashion and sneakers. So I was lucky in that way where I was never too far away from what my ultimate life calling is with social studies. And before that, prior to that, to tie back into you guys' question, me and my partner D started the first sneaker podcast in the industry in 2007. So that was the birth of our actual parent company for social studies, which is called Obsessive Sneaker Disorder.
Nice.
So through the success of that podcast is what led to us getting consulting jobs and things for sneaker companies. And that led actually to social studies becoming the need that we manifested after doing a lot of consulting for these companies, and they didn't have enough women or people of color in the ranks, which they still don't, but it became, the sort of inspiration point for the creation of social studies, because they just simply didn't know how to go out and recruit us and make us aware of the jobs and careers that exist in the sneaker industry. And then when we came back to our hoods and to our respective people and the others in the sneaker community, they didn't even know that a sneaker industry existed. So there was a twofold problem that we became the bridge to solving. And now we're on our 13th year.
Love it.
We launched the Social Studies Community Academy here in Dumbo last year in July. Co-founding partners are an organization who we love working with called Healing Souls, which takes in new and lightly worn sneakers, cleans them up, and distributes them around America and the Caribbean. And our other co-founding partner is my good friend Ali Shaheed Muhammad from A Tribe Called Quest. So we've had a lot of support from them as our co-founding partners over the years before we launched the academy. So when it came time to set up this freestanding community space, they were all in with us. And like C.Truth said, we do the work of making sure people are educated and empowered about these jobs in the sneaker industry.
What would you say are the top jobs? Well, not top jobs in the industry, but jobs that people aren't aware of.
People who do the financial background stuff, like the cost analysis, and people who, like, even the basics, HR. People don't understand that there's an HR department at a sneaker company. People don't understand that there's a legal department.
Right.
There's tax and accounting. There's janitors, there's facilities managers. There's a lot of people who work at these sneaker companies, which are positions that are similar to those in other industries. But people just see what's on the wall, and they really don't think past that or the box that they take them out of. So that was our goal, was to change that.
So when you say that we are still lacking in terms of people of color and women in the business, do you feel like that is a lack of information or access, or both?
It's both. It's both, which is why we had to do this work, is because you can't go after something you don't know exists. Right? Sneakers exist, but you don't know sneaker jobs exist.
Right.
That's on one side of the equation. The companies are well aware of who we are, but it's all about communication and how you decide to go out and do the outreach. And one of the things that we found through our experience with going to work with these companies was there are a lot of people who work at these companies who come from backgrounds like ours that got those jobs and never came back. Didn't come to mentor the next generation, didn't care about what's happening for the next generation. They just care about themselves. So, one of the three things I like to tell the young people that I like about working in the sneaker industry was the gift and the curse of what made us create social studies, was the fact that you can dress how you want to go to work. You get free sneakers, travel the world on the company's dime. These are great things that you can only get working for in an industry like that, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want everybody to be put on that, because then you think everybody's gonna come in and ruin it. But that's a selfish way of thinking, in terms of just really worried about what that means to you, and not really worrying about what that means to a $100 billion global industry. Because in other industries, people come back, they mentor, they find the next generation of people who are going to keep their industry strong. And the sneaker industry does not do that.
That's crazy. And why do you think that is?
Because a lot of the people who are the gatekeepers over the decisions being made and the profits and everything else are white, male, and, from a background that has nothing to do with us. So they're very much interested in preservation of what they've got, and there's very much a boys club and a nepotism that goes on, like other industries. It's not a sneaker industry.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that nobody thought about sneakers being an actual industry, everything we're doing is making people aware of every single dynamic of what it takes to be in sneakers.
It's funny you put it that way because people don't look at sneakers as an industry. They look at it as something that they. But having an academy changes the game, right? There's a shift that happens there. What are some of the other tools that kids learn in that space, in the academy?
Well, the first and foremost, one that I want everyone that is of a certain age, and I really say of a certain age, meaning Gen Z, because sneakers are really geared towards Gen Z. That's the core consumer these days. The industry belongs to you. That's one of the things I tell the younger people. We teach social studies to a broad range of folks from 14 up to my oldest student who was 62 years old in 2017 when he took social studies. So that's the other thing that is a core strength of ours with the academy is when COVID hit, a lot of people started to evaluate whether they want to do what they're currently doing. They wanted to look for another industry. They were tired of what they're doing. And you would think the opposite, right? Because they got the opportunity to work from home, that would sort of inspire people to continue doing what they do, just with more of the conveniences of home. No, a lot of people really began to get super tired and worn out by their industry. So we made people, as of 2020, aware of the fact that the sneaker industry is another option for you. There's workforce development and career development that can be done to get you to transition into the sneaker industry.
Right.
So we talked to everybody from all ages, but the core, attention grabbing lesson we want to put forward to a lot of folks in terms of legacy and future of the industry is these young folks, the industry belongs to you. It does not belong to someone like me who I have my place in it. I'm, very experienced in it. I'm still in it on a high level, but this industry doesn't belong to me in that nobody's trying to hire me.
Right.
Nobody's making sneakers for me unless you're Skechers or Kohan or Rockport, one of those kind of companies where the demographic is 50 plus. Nobody's sitting there nowhere making sneakers for me.
Right.
So they want the folks with the disposable income. That's whose attention they want.
Right.
But I'm challenging them to push back and say, yeah, that's good. You get our dollars on that end, but you need to be ready to give us these jobs.
Right. Right. No, I think that's so important.
Right. Talk about the IP piece, which we were discussing the other day, that you also do at the academy, intellectual property. So let's say I have an idea. I'm very artful. I'm very creative. I design a sneaker. That's all mine. I want to license that to one of these major, the Nikes or Adidas or XY or whatever, or get it out there. But I still want to keep my idea, my design. You teach those type of things at the academy, correct?
Yeah, we start with the basics, right? So we teach a course called IP Science, Intellectual Property Science, the Brand Protection and Elevation Masterclass. And the birth of that is from years of talking to a lot of designers, experienced and inexperienced and up and coming, and coming to the realization that a lot of people actually don't know what intellectual property is. They actually really just don't know. So it starts with the basis of defining intellectual property for them. How do you protect it? How do you make money off of it? What happens if someone comes to sue you saying you infringed on them, or vice versa? Let's just say, somebody has something out there that you're passionately convicted was taken from you. What are the steps that you go through to go and stop that from happening, or have someone compensate you for said? Those are the core things that we teach in IP science. It starts with people actually being able to define what intellectual property is. Now, believe it or not, it's as simple as a conversation with someone about an idea. If you're talking to someone in a certain capacity about an idea, and that person is in the capacity to actually take that idea and run with it, you're giving away your IP. So the goal with IP science is just really to change people's thinking in terms of when they're out here brainstorming and being creative and sharing ideas. And some of these ideas they're giving away, to sort of go back to you guys' question of the day in terms of starting your own radio show. some of these things that people give away, they can literally do themselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't have to give it to anyone. They don't need a partner. You know, I'm one of those people, and C will tell you this through all my years of working with doing sneaker exhibitions and podcasts and things related to sneakers. Proof of concept is always the equalizer. You
Mm.
know, that's the thing that for me has gotten me to be as successful as I am. I've never
Proof
relied
of concept is always the equalizer. I like that.
I've never allowed anyone
Yeah,
to tell me I can or cannot,
that's
you
right.
know, launch my concept or my idea just to prove to you that it can work. No, I'm going to do it and I'm going to show you.
Right.
And then
Right.
after that, if you still don't want a part of it, that's fine. But you're going to walk away saying no, not because no, nobody's ever going to do that. It's going to be no, I don't think I want to do that. He did it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
damn sure did it. But I
Right.
don't think I want to do that.
Well, but you have to agree that that sentiment, that energy, that intention is not what we see a lot with people,
No,
right?
absolutely.
That's why you're in the space you're in now, because you're one of those dudes. You're like, listen, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah. And I think that everybody has that ability, but it
For
starts with
sure.
knowing what you're giving away,
Right.
right? If you approach your own idea from a position of weakness, then what are you doing?
What you want me to do? Right.
Right? I have a
Indeed.
great idea, but let me go and talk to Raychelle and C.Truth and tell them everything all about it.
Yeah, and see what they
And
think.
it's the same thing that happened with the academy here. We have been trying to open this since 2018.
Mm.
And we met with people through COVID and seeing spaces all over the city. And this is all going on through COVID. We're doing all this, you know, and even before that. And like we're telling people this is an education and empowerment initiative. This ain't a profit. Yeah, I get it. It's sneaker education, but we're not
Right.
selling shoes. We're not teaching people how to do resell. We're actually doing workforce and career development to get people into an industry. So either you're with that or don't waste our time because
Right.
you're not going to be in education and you're not going to be in education and empowerment of my people, then go away. I don't need your bucks.
That's easy.
Which is
Right. It's
exactly what
simple.
happened. We've self-financed and opened this place ourselves.
That's right.
After having conversations with people, $500,000 here, $250,000 there, we'll give you this space. And only to talk to them and you hear like because sneakers is involved, the word sneaker, they're already ching ching in the register. They're thinking Jordans are just gonna be flying off the shelf through a space where they're not even trying to do that. So, you know, I've always been steadfast on making sure that if I have an idea, I execute on it. And this academy is one of those. So,
You're in good company because we do the same.
right, you know, so
Now,
one of
before I
the
let you
things
go, I
that
have one. Before I let you go, I have one question. Do you have a favorite sneaker?
I do, it is the Nike Air Max One. It is up here
Okay.
behind me.
Let me see.
It's
Oh, it's
crumpled
too
and
far.
destroyed, and it's in a case up here. But
Oh,
before I
okay.
get into
Okay.
that even further, there's an interesting story behind it, right? So last year I went to go teach in Paris, and the sneaker is inspired by the Pompidou Center in Paris. So I went to take the shoes with me because I wanted to finally, you know, make that sneaker pilgrimage, if you will. Take this iconic sneaker that changed the sneaker industry to the place that inspired it, take pictures, all that. I made the mistake of wearing them there and they started crumbling and falling apart because the shoes at that point were already 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
So that's why they're in the case up
In a
here.
case, right.
Well, I
That's
got like
crazy.
tickets to the museum. I have like Air Max soap, Air Max. I'm a super Air Max One fan.
Okay. Okay. Well, the
Yeah.
next time we have you on, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I also want to talk about prices too, but we're not going to keep you much longer. We're going to be in integrity around our time. And thank you for joining us.
You're
And I
very
think
much
what
welcome.
you're doing is so dope. And if there's anything else we can do to help, please, please, please let us know.
Yep, I definitely do that.
Please let us know. And as y'all can see, this is how you can follow Sean and connect with him. Instagram, the website, whole kit and caboodle. Talk to your kids about stuff like this. Let them understand that there's more than one way to be involved in an industry, right? So
A multi-billion-dollar industry.
yes, we thank you, Sean. Like there's so much more to this conversation, and we plan on having it with you.
I'm looking forward to coming back and sharing more. See you
Thanks so much.
There's never any shortage of time for me to talk about sneakers.
I know, right?
No
No,
doubt.
I'm that. I love it. I love it. And I'll send you my size too. So,
To be continued.
all
Yes.
righty.
All
Thank
right, bro.
you.
Y'all have a good
Yeah.
day. Thanks for having me on.
No
No
problem.
problem.
Anytime.
All right. Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
You know what? I'm an undercover sneakerhead. See, I just realized, living in New York will have you wearing sneakers every day. So then, because you wear sneakers every day, then you're forced to be mindful of, oh, what color, what style, what's comfortable, what's not. Like before you know it, I had sneakers. That's all I had, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then now, even though I don't have to walk everywhere, I still feel the most comfortable with a pair of sneakers. Like,
Oh, no question. They're the ultimate shoe.
yeah,
They are the ultimate shoe. And I told you about my high school days of it, right? Like how I used to have three different pair of the same style just for
right,
different outfits. And that whole thing though, like I said, is how the industry was being built because
yeah,
of people like myself,
right,
people in Brooklyn, people all across the different hoods throughout the US who would use sneakers to actually be fly with it and come up with different styles. And that's why all the colorways are here today
right.
because of people like myself who would mix and match and do things like that. But anyway, that would
We
be
digress.
the next conversation when we have Sean
Circle
back.
back to this.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna circle
But
back.
right now we have somebody who's a voice in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Although she's not here. Oh,
There
there
she
she is.
is.
There she is. Yes, indeed. A voice in a lot of different places. It just happens to be Brooklyn now, though. But she's going to tell us a little bit about the things that she's doing and the places she's been and so forth. We have joining us right now Miss Brooklyn Syren.
And Siren. Hey,
Hello, y'all.
girl.
It's so
Look,
nice to be with you guys.
today you are
Thank you
giving
for
us
having me back on.
technical savvy.
Thank you for having me back on. I'm on a laptop today, so it is big and bright.
You're good. We can hear you and we can see you. You look beautiful today. So, Brooklyn, tell us. So, we'll get into the conversation, but introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about Brooklyn Syren.
So I'm Brooklyn Syren. I am an artist. I'm a singer. I am a songwriter. I'm getting into production purely for my creative control because I do have a little bit of
Yes.
issues. I'm also I'd say, public speaker. I've done some public speaking in schools for high schoolers, for middle schoolers, talking on mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just a person.
Yeah. An extremely talented person. I think it would be. I think you'd be underestimating yourself if you didn't understand the incredible strength of your voice. And
I'm getting sweaty.
It's okay, girl. So when we talk about the music business, we talk about the industry. For example, you have a single that's coming out, right?
Yes.
And I'm really excited about it because to hear it, it's like, whoa, like there's something here. There's something here. When did you first know that you had that thing about that people responded to? When did you first recognize it?
My first memory of recognizing that it wasn't just a little song and dance from my parents anymore. It was a way to connect and interact and share emotion through music. I think I was pretty young. I was singing like Hannah Montana on in a talent show or something. I put on the whole wig and everything, and I was doing the pop it, lock it, polka dot it.
Uh-oh. I'm not mad at that.
I felt like a real superstar. That was, I think, the first time I ever felt like after a performance was done, like I killed it. Like I did that, and I know I felt good in it.
Do you still feel that when you perform? And like, what is the thing that you most want people to take away from when they see you perform?
I think it's it's definitely different performing in front of a bunch of family and friends that are like obligated to be there more
right.
versus a bar crowd or a kind of club scene that I've been doing the past few years. And I find the reactions to be a lot more authentic, definitely, especially in the bar. I have had some interesting interactions playing and seeing people visibly react to the words that are coming out of my mouth that were just like 2 days ago in my journal.
Right. That's dope. Yeah.
I was elated. There's no other way to describe it. Just pure joy.
And what would you like to relate to your listeners? And you are like your following is going to grow. We already know that. What is it that you want people to learn and hear from you?
A different perspective from someone, a different perspective from a white girl in their early 20s.
That's profound. That's profound. Yeah.
We need different. That's all.
That's it. Different, right? And we know that. So the other thing too, and I want us, and we're going to definitely have you come back so we could have a broader conversation around entertainment and mental health and just how life intertwines with your creativity and how you're still able to pull from those life experiences to share.
Right. That's a really good point. I think when I'm doing too much of one or the other, I'm focusing too much on my social life and not getting back to my book at the end of the night and writing and having that meditative time with myself. I lose myself in the motion of other people and being in a crowd and following a herd.
Right.
Yeah. So I think having balance between what you put on the pen and what you actually promote and do in life are very important, because you can say a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of stuff, but actions do speak louder than words.
Agreed.
Oh, no question. When you do the speaking part of things and you're talking to younger children, what are some of the questions that they ask you, and what are some of the things that kind of surprise you when they actually ask you some of these questions?
Oh my gosh. I remember there was this one time I went to an elementary school and they were really young, and my story kind of changes depending on what age group I'm talking to. The vocabulary changes and the examples change just for sensory reasons. But one of the question was about a certain type of drug, and it was this tiny boy, and I was like, how do you even know about like what weed is, like, or any of the, he asked me a bunch of different questions, but he came up to me at the end of the class and he was like, all my friends vape and smoke, and this was like 4th grade. So it's getting way worse.
It's out there, like it's not just in specific conversations, but drugs in general are out everywhere on general TV. Like, it's not even like mask or comes on at a certain time period. It's every single time of the day. So it's very easy to, even if you're not trying to know about it, it's easy to know about it
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah. And I smoke weed. I'm not against it at all. It was just so alarming when you're not a kid anymore and you're on the role reversal was
Right. Well, fourth grade, I mean, that there's another conversation that needs to be had with whoever that kid was, not you necessarily,
yeah
but just
with that whole
in general. Yeah. Because
And
like you said,
we have to keep talking so
Yeah.
that at least the information and the narrative is from an honest
right.
instead of something that they hear or misinformation, which can actually be harmful.
and that's the audience that I'm not directly shooting at any audience, but I don't want to be promoting the stuff
For
that's
sure.
promoted now.
It makes you mindful. It makes you mindful about the conversations that you have. Yeah. But kudos for you for getting out there and starting the conversation. Someone needs to have these conversations, and your life, even at 20, your life experience at 20 is some could never even fathom. So, like I said, we'll definitely have you back so we can talk about that.
You know what, Rick? Probably we're gonna have to have just her
on the
no
show.
other guests. And I say that because there's a lot of different levels and stages that we have to get into and dive into.
I will break it down.
Including the music though too. So definitely when the song drops, and a big shout out to KK. We'll have him on the show too. He's been riding with us for a long time on Indie Review.
Yes, big up to KK.
You I watched. He's sitting in the chat down below.
Oh, is he down there? I didn't even see him. But yeah, so we're gonna let you go, Brooklyn. But how can people reach you? We have your Instagram scrolling across the bottom.
Oh,
Brooklyn Syren, right?
That's all IG. My social media.
Okay, perfect.
Look it up.
There it is.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes.
Very soon.
City of Sirens is coming soon. I don't have an exact date. Sony is busting my ass with the cover. I wanted to change it at the end. So
it's coming.
When it's ready, we'll have you too on that. So thank you for joining us.
Girl. Have a great week.
All right. Take care. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the daily slice. Some cake every day before we run out of time. So I'm gonna let you kick it.
Yes, a daily slice. We end every show with a small slither of life's cake. And today's daily slice is this. Transformation doesn't ask that you stop being you. It demands that you find a way back to the authenticity and strength that's already inside of you. You only have to bloom. And that came from Cheryl Strayed. She has a book called, I forgot the name of the book. She has a book and it's filled with daily slices, if you will. But this really speaks to me because I think that people sometimes feel like they have to stop in order to make the shift, and you don't. Keep going. And when it comes to authenticity, everyone that we've spoken to today, there's been an air of authenticity through those conversations. And that's the very thing that has led them on to continue to do their work. So until next time, be authentic, tap into your strength. C.Truth and I wish you nothing but the best, and we send you lots of love and light. So till next show, peace.